Tell me if you've heard this before. Kristaps Porzingis injured. Welcome back to the Upside. My name is Michael. Kristaps Porzingis seemed to have rolled his left ankle in a game last night where the Mavericks were trounced by the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're saying x-rays or the MRI was negative, so it looks like he avoided long-term injury. But if you're a Mavericks fan, it's the same old song. Sure, Porzingis is playing better, and he looks to be finally meshing with Luka Doncic like they did in that bubble down in Orlando, but we're still looking at a team without a second star, a second true star on this team. If you're a Mavericks fan, let us know in the comment section below what second star you would like to see the Mavericks acquire. If you still believe that Kristaps is a second star for this team and needs a third, let us know that in the comment section below as well. Remember, if you subscribe and like this video, you could possibly be posted as the Upside of the Week. Setting aside the question of Kristaps Porzingis for a moment, let's look at some options if you're a Mavericks fan to possibly fill that second or third star role. To me, there's three options right now, among others, but three that really stand out. First, Kyrie Irving. He's not playing for the Brooklyn Nets and doesn't look to play the rest of the season if he stays on the Nets, so I could see the Mavericks ponying up and possibly acquiring him, seeing as how they already have a need for a secondary ball handler. Now, Mark Cuban is against having people or players on his staff that are not vaccinated. But as we've seen with Trey Burke, he made an exception. I think he'll do the same with Kyrie Irving. Now, if you're looking at Kyrie Irving, the player, what an upgrade. But off the court, you got a little bit of a headache. And is it really worth giving up the capital if you're a Mavericks fan? If you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, how much capital are you really getting? You know your first round picks are going to be way out there once you do get them, if there's any in the trade to begin with. You're looking at pieces, not a star coming back as well. You're looking at possibly a Tim Hardaway Jr. You're looking at a possible Jaylen Brunson. Very good players, rotation pieces that fill up your roster. But is that going to be the transaction you're looking for when you're replacing a star like Kyrie Irving on your roster? If you're a Nets fan, let us know in the comment section below what you think of that as a trade possibility. Is that enough for Kyrie Irving? Given he hasn't played any games this year, is that enough getting back for a star? 2, Brandon Ingram. The Pelicans are terrible this year, and they don't look to be improving anytime soon. Zion's out again for an extended period of time, so Brandon Ingram seems to be on the market. He's a heck of an offensive player, a little bit of a liability on defense, but the Pelicans still need point guard help, which they tried to address in the offseason and failed. They also need shooting, which again, they tried in the offseason and failed to provide. So if you're looking at the Dallas Mavericks as a possibility, while their shooting hasn't been great, it looks to come back to the mean as the season progresses. Jaylen Brunson's taken a step forward. Tim Hardaway Jr. is hot and cold. And that's kind of what you're looking for as far as a point guard and shooter if you're the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, you'll need salary filler in there to kind of make up the difference, but something around that structure seems to make sense if you're a Mavericks fan. Pelicans fans, let me know in the comment section below what you think of that. Remember, subscribe and like this video, and you could possibly be featured as our Upside of the Week. Last, we have Jaylen Brown. The Boston Celtics seem to be hovering around 500 this season. They have had a little bit of internal turmoil with Marcus Smart going after passing from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Both players, though, are exceptional offensive and defensive pieces, but they're a little bit redundant on the Celtics. Do they change that redundancy and get a piece at a point guard position? Sure, they have Dennis Schroeder, but is he there for the long term? And is he really the solution the long term? I don't know. Jaylen Brunson may or may not be that solution, but he would be one piece I could see going back the other way. Shooting is also a concern for the Boston Celtics. They look at the three-point line and you look at Tim Hardaway Jr. While his percentages aren't fantastic this year, he's hot and cold, and he seems to be heating up at just the right time. Now, as far as other pieces that would have to be included, you're looking at salary filler, Dwight Powell. That doesn't really excite anybody on the Boston Celtics, but maybe an athletic big, somebody who can run up and down the floor and keep the ball moving. That might be just what the doctor ordered for players like Marcus Smart, who desire passing on the team, and they're not getting it with Jaylen Brown. All three of these players would represent a huge addition for the Dallas Mavericks. If you're a fan of those other teams, let us know in the comment section below what you think of these trade ideas, possibly float your own. See what other teams might be out there for these players. Remember, if you subscribe and like this video, you could possibly be featured as our Upside of the Week. Thanks again for joining the Upside.